You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our first class for tonight, which is our most important class because this is our Aqidah class. This is our Aqidah class. And again, it's all about having the correct belief system. If your belief system as a Muslim is not correct, if your belief system as a Muslim is not in sync with how Allah says it should be, then you're going to end up with a bad ending. That means none of your good deeds are going to be accepted, no matter how many fasts, how much time you spent fasting, no matter how much charity you gave. And that's why Mother Teresa, anyone, let me reiterate this because I have a lot of converts here who come from Catholicism. And I guess evidently this Mother Teresa was somebody great with them. And they're having a hard time accepting the reality that it doesn't matter how great you were in this world. Anyone who dies upon a belief system other than Islam, nothing will be accepted for them. And I answered this question before. One of the new Shahada says, well, then how does Allah, out of his mercy, how does Allah, out of his mercy, reward those who don't believe in him? Well, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like I tell you guys, there is no question that you can ask about Islam, about Allah, about this belief system that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not already answered. We have an authentic hadith where one of the non-believers approached the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the same thing. In fact, it was the Prophet Muhammad's uncle, Abu Talib. One of the people asked him, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, what happens to a person like Abu Talib?" Abu Talib was not a believer. He died upon disbelief. He will be in the hellfire forever. But he did a lot of good. He protected the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He took care of him as an orphan. Okay? So how does Allah reward the unbelievers? Well, out of his mercy. That's when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this world here, this world is the paradise for the non-believers. For those people who don't believe in Allah, but they do good things to help other people and help Allah's creation, Allah rewards them in this world. Abu Talib was rewarded in this world. He was rich, he was wealthy, he had power, he had prestige. This is what the non-believers want. They got the money, they got the power, they have the status. And also he gives them a long life. Some of the non-believers get to live a long life. This is their paradise. Allah rewards them in this world. But once they die, they have nothing else coming. That's the difference between us and they and us. Allah will reward us twice. He will reward us in this world and in the hereafter. So yes, that's Allah's mercy. Y'all see how merciful he is, even to a person like Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa she had a happy life here. She got to travel all over the world. Oh yeah, she was very famous. She had the prestige, the honor, and all of that, to the point where people still praise her. But once she died, that was it. It's over. Now she will be joining Abu Talib, and they will be where they are forever. You guys got it? Real simple. Okay? So that's the answer to the question for today. And so now we're going to get on with our class, because I want you guys to remember we have Mukhtar. He'll be doing the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after this class at 7. So this class is not going to be long. We're continuing with the book Diluting Wal Bara. This masterpiece was written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. That's him in the background there. Okay, please pick up this book if you have not. Go to Amazon.com. All Karim Abu Zaid's books can be bought at Amazon.com. All Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli's books can be purchased at www.atleonline.com. And tonight we'll be discussing who is responsible for assuring that the Muslims within a community live their lives, number one, obeying Allah, adhering to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, and at the same time implement Wal Bara. Who's responsible for that? The leaders of the community are. And that's what we're going to speak about tonight. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen so we can get right into it. And I think you guys are going to like this class today, because many of you come from positions of leadership. We have a big innovation going on today. You got these executive boards and women. A lot of you women are on executive boards in your communities. This is a big innovation. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, but it's happening. So for you sisters that put yourselves on these executive boards, y'all put yourself in these leadership positions. Understand, with leadership positions, it becomes responsibilities that you sisters are not going to like on the day of judgment, or when y'all in y'all grave. Because when y'all in y'all grave, y'all going to be asked about these positions y'all had of authority and why you didn't implement Allah's laws. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the day outside and people enjoying themselves. And I don't have anybody in my Zoom either, so this is good. I think I'm talking to myself today, but that's okay. Layla can deal. Okay, here we go. So tonight we'll be covering pages 263 to 265, and we're going to speak about the role of leadership, because the responsibility of implementing Wal Bara into our Islamic communities, online and offline, falls upon whoever the leaders are. And let's see what Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid has to say here. Leadership stands as a cornerstone in establishing a strong community. Leadership also is what establishes and guides people to embrace the principles of allegiance and disassociation. So who does that fall upon? It falls upon the imams of the community, these executive boards of the community, since we got this innovation going on, and online people such as myself, whoever the administrators are of the virtual community. You know, we have to embrace the principles of allegiance and disassociation and try to assure that everybody in the community adheres to them. And so that's why we have to be careful who we choose to be our leaders. Be careful who you choose to be the imam of the masjid. Be careful who you choose to be the administrators of your virtual online communities, because influential leaders, they're the ones that embody the qualities that cultivate unity, that cultivate support within the community. So if you put a person in charge that doesn't understand allegiance, that doesn't understand disassociation, your community is going to have all kind of crooked stuff in there. If you put a person in charge that doesn't understand that we're supposed to disassociate from anything that comes between our culture, which is Islam. So if you got an imam telling you it's okay to celebrate the prophet's birthday, this is a person that doesn't understand Wal Bara. We distance ourselves from anything that contradicts our belief system. If you have an imam telling you it's okay to do birthday parties for your children, okay, he's going to have everybody in the mosque thinking that this is okay when it's not. So we have to be very careful who we put in these leadership positions. The people we appoint as leaders should be people who understand the teachings of the Quran. They understand the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and most importantly, they have the understanding of Islam, and they have the understanding of those teachings that the companions had, and that's where we fall short. We put imams or people in charge who don't have the understanding of the companions. We put people in charge who have the understanding of Imam Malik or the understanding of Imam Hanafi or even Ibn Taymiyyah. No, our understanding should be as the original companions, no one else. That's why our communities online and offline are failing. A lot of people say, Sister Laila, you still here? Y'all don't understand. I get people that come in here and shocked that I'm still online. Do you think Sunnah followers, when we came online in 1986, do you think I would still be here 30 some years later if I was not implementing Wal Bara, if I didn't have strong leadership here who knows when to hold and knows when to fold? Oh yeah, I lost a lot of students too. A lot of people stopped coming to my classes, not because I did an injustice to them, but because they couldn't take the truth. They couldn't handle the fact that I wasn't going to allow any deviation away from the understanding of those companions. I'm not going to allow nobody to come in here with a different understanding than they had about birthdays, about holidays, about the lawful or the unlawful. Okay? Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Indeed, those who have believed and migrated and fought with their money and their lives in the way of Allah, and those who gave them protection and shelter, they are allies of one another. Subhanallah, we're supposed to be brothers and sisters of each other. Who are the believers? The believers. The believers. So the leaders are responsible for personifying and upholding the principles of allegiance and disassociation. And this verse of the Quran shows the significance of having solidarity and support amongst each other. So it's up to the leaders to make sure that whatever our community is, it's based on La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, which includes the principles of allegiance. And the leaders that you choose for these positions should be men who have nothing but allegiance to Allah, not to anybody else. It ain't no allegiance to their sheikh. It ain't no allegiance to some imam. It ain't no allegiance to no madhab. My allegiance to Allah, to the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the understanding that those companions had as to how it should be. And then my allegiance is to the Muslim community here. And I'm going to distance myself from anything that contradicts the morality, the morals, and our culture of Islam. I'm going to distance myself from people who are sinful in their actions. Everybody understand that? So leadership positions, you sisters, a lot of you are on executive boards. Y'all better think, because Allah is going to, since you put yourself in a man's position, you're going to be standing up like a man on the day of judgment, held accountable for those women in your community that are not wearing hijab. Oh, yeah. Those women in your community who come to the mosque and they're not dressed properly. Those women in your community who are smoking cigarettes and they claim that they don't know it's not lawful. Those women in your community that's coming in there with all that perfume on. Those women in your community who's walking around in front of the men trying to get laid and paid. Yeah, you sisters want to put yourselves in the role of a man. That's a serious thing. Okay. And by the way, do I have any moderators here? If I do, can y'all cut the camera off? Any moderator here, cut off the camera. It's still on from the kids. Also, Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, hold firmly to the rope of Allah together and do not become divided. You know, that's the role of the leadership. The leadership of your online or virtual communities like my website. It's our job to make sure that everyone here, everyone in the community is holding on to the rope of Allah. We have to assure that nothing's going to come in here to divide us. If we do see people coming in here to try to separate and create fitna, we have to address it. Because it's the job of the leaders to cultivate unity. And good leaders know how to do it. That's why I have to tell a lot of y'all in my website, I'm not like you. I'm a dyer. A lot of you might say, Layla, why you let this happen? Why you do this? Because I'm not you. I'm in a leadership position. This website is an amanah, a trust between me and Allah. I have to think way ahead of you. Okay, it's my job to cultivate unity. Okay, I have to make sure that unity is here amongst all of us. I can't just say, to heck with this person, cut off my mic and walk away. I have to keep my mic on and talk to that person. That's my job. Because effective leaders encourage dialogue. They encourage talking. They encourage cooperation. And the effective leaders make everyone feel like they belong. Okay? Effective leaders, they address problems, address issues, and they mediate conflicts while championing, the other people, the rights of all the people within that community. So a position of leadership is not to be taken easily, guys. And remember, if you are of a position of leadership, you are the example. You're supposed to be an example for everyone. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that. Remember, one of the companions, Jabir, he said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best of the people are those who are of most benefit, who the people like to come to and ask for help. That's why when I come on this internet, a lot of you sisters say, oh, I had one of the Arabic sisters from Egypt, from my homeland. She asked me, well, why do you put on makeup and stuff, Layla? You don't have a husband. I said, first of all, I don't have to have a husband to make sure I'm beautiful. Allah loves beauty. I don't put on makeup to be for a man. I put on makeup to make myself beautiful for my Lord, because Allah loves beauty. That's number one. Number two, I am a role model. I want to lead through my example. I'm here to prove a point that no Muslim woman should ever feel that Islam has oppressed her, because there's nothing in Islam that forbids women from wearing makeup. The Prophet's wives wore makeup. You read them in the hadiths. What do y'all think kohol is? What do y'all think henna is? That was their makeup. Subhanallah. Okay? So I have to make sure that my appearance, is pleasing to Allah, because I am leading through my example. I want to be a positive example for the young girls here, so that when they grow up, they have the strength I had. I never second guessed myself. I grew up in the 60s, the worst time in America's history. The only Muslim, because people, all they knew was the nation of Elijah Muhammad. I was never a part of that crap. I was always upon the way of the companions. So I had to be an example. I don't have to walk around dressed in white like the fruit of the loom. Yeah, those women wore white. Just like nowadays, a lot of you fanatical sisters think y'all got to wear black, when the prophet's wives never wore black or any dark colors unless they were mourning. Well, the Elijah Muhammad people, they thought they had to wear white all the time. The fruit of the loom or whatever they called themselves. I wore a different color just like I am today. I look just like I look today to show I'm not like them. Subhanallah, we lead through our example, guys. And accomplished leaders will guide you through their example to the truth. They'll teach you the truth through their example. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, sit with the people of knowledge. Sit in their company so you can learn from their example, from the way they talk, the way they react. Let's take a look at this verse. Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, and those who have responded to their Lord and established prayer and whose affair is determined by consultation amongst themselves. And from what we have provided them, they spend. Subhanallah. Look at this. This is another one of the roles of the leadership. Okay? The leaders are responsible for promoting support, promoting a culture of mutual support and compassion within the community. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the believers in their kindness, their compassion, and their empathy are just like one body. When one of us suffers, we all experience it. So we can jump in there and help each other. So a skillful leader empowers the community members to extend their support, to extend their help, to show their empathy and solidarity. Subhanallah, yesterday, Brother Mukhtar, he approached us again, those Muslims in Ghana, those 3 Muslim villages who were living out in Bomas. They didn't even have water to drink. They were sharing water with the hippopotamus and crocodiles. Now they got 3 wells that we built for them. Well, he reached out again. Don't forget Kurbana. Our Kurbana went to them. He said, a cow, 7 people can go in on a cow. SubhanAllah, the Muslim women came into the Zoom room and offered their support. Here, I'll get paid this much. That's a skillful leader. Mukhtar is one of the leaders of this virtual community. He empowers the people, encourages the people to want to extend their support to others around the world who may not be as fortunate as us. That's the role of a leader. And also the role of the leader is to guide through advisement. Effective leaders, we seek guidance from the Quran, guidance from the authentic hadith, and we consult with the people of knowledge when making decisions that impact the whole community. An example, one of the brothers came up in here the other day. He said, Sister Laila, I'd like to join your team and teach. Even though this is my website, what did I tell him? Even though this is my website, I told him I have to consult. I got to talk with Sheikh Morsi. I got to talk with Dr. Dramali, and then we'll get back to you. Okay? You're going to consult with other people of knowledge when making decisions that's going to impact the entire community, the entire website. We don't just make decisions on our own. Okay? Good leaders, they value diverse perspectives. Good leaders engage in consultative decision-making processes. Good leaders ensure that the community's welfare remains at the forefront of their considerations. When Mukhtar joined here and started with his Kurbana, and also before then helped the Muslims in Africa, This is my website. I knew it was a good idea, but who did I consult with first? Sheikh Morsi. Oh, yeah. He said, give the sisters a chance to reach out. Even Jamali, yeah, give them, this is a good thing. Let them reach out. Help the Muslims who you can help. Let the sisters experience that. I talked to Dr. Asim, mashallah, let him reach out. You know, so good leaders will consult with others when it comes to the decision-making process. We don't just decide on our own. So thus, guys, it falls upon the leaders of the community to make sure that allegiance and disassociation is being implemented amongst the people. Leadership is the guiding force in all of that. The leader's unwavering commitment to Wal Bara. This is what brings about unity. So the stronger the leader, the stronger the community. The better the leader, the better the people will uphold each other's rights. The better the leader, the less likely the community will be one of those to celebrate birthdays, to fall into Halloween and all of that crap. And again, you know, this is the way of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the way of his companions, you know, even under the caliphates. When we look at the caliphate, as Mukhtar taught you guys, the caliphate, you know, of Abu Bakr, and when he goes over the caliphate of Umar, radiallahu anhu, you will see that even though those two men were the best of this nation, what does that mean? That means nobody understood this religion better than Abu Bakr except the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And nobody understood this religion better than Umar, other than Abu Bakr and the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though those two men were the best of this nation, they never made decisions on behalf of the welfare of the Muslims without consulting with their cabinet. That cabinet included Ali, Ibn Abbas, Abu Huraira, and all the other companions, even Aisha. They would consult with Aisha. They would consult with Salama, ask their opinion. Zainab, ask her opinion. That's good leadership. Don't think that you boss daddy and you alone run things.